guys, it's day 25 of quarantining in our house. Like you, we're binge watching Tiger King, stress baking, and less fun, experiencing a reduction in our income.
We realize we're in an incredibly fortunate position, being able to ride it out without making significant sacrifices, but that is not the case for most. As we've mentioned before, 40% of Americans can't pay for a $400 emergency without credit. Even if you're not facing a corona-induced cash crisis yet, that doesn't mean you're out of the woods. The economic fallout from this disaster is going to have an effect on your life, no matter what industry you're in.
Unfortunately, like this virus, anxiety is also contagious, so it's only natural that a lot of us are asking ourselves the same question. How do I survive a financial storm?
Your first step needs to be to create an emergency budget. Yep, if you haven't yet climbed on board the 2 cents budget train, 2020 is the perfect time to start. First rule of emergency budgeting is it must be written or typed out, not in your head. So find a spreadsheet or sign up for a budgeting software. Some are completely free. Second step is to gather data from the past. That way you're working with real numbers and not the amount you think you spend. Start by looking at the last 2 months worth of transactions and make a list of everything you spend money on. This might take a little time, but hey, for a lot of us, time seems more plentiful than ever.
Start by grouping the essential expenses at the top: housing, utilities, basic groceries, transportation, and medical needs. Second, list debt payments like student loans or credit card minimums. Finally, list all of your discretionary expenses like entertainment, meal delivery, and subscriptions.
What you're looking at is your pre-crisis budget. Now it's time to use that data to draft your emergency budget. Your first draft should take on a scorched earth feel by cutting everything below your minimum debt payments. Spotify, wine, Postmates, even Netflix. Feels pretty bleak, right? Don't worry, we're not done.
Now it's time to create a second draft where you strategically pick discretionary items to add back in. This might just be one thing, like Netflix. Or if your income took a less drastic hit, you can add back 3 or 4 things. It might come as a surprise, but holding on to a couple tiny splurge items might actually help you more in the long run than cutting them completely. One survey showed over half of Americans owned up to impulsively shopping as a result of feelings of anxiety, stress, and depression. And 83% of those stress spenders regret those purchases later.
For example, I find a lot of relief in being able to play a few online games, so I'd rather maintain access to that outlet and cut out ordering in because I find cooking less stressful. You might have a different preference. The point is that you need to give the pressure cooker a small but intentional release. That way, you're less likely to make a massive impulse buy later.
Now that most of your discretionary spending is paused, it's time to try and slim down the expenses that make up the majority of your needs, your essentials. And with almost 7 million applying for unemployment just last week, lenders and utility companies are being especially lenient.
If you own a home with a mortgage and have had your income go down, reach out to your mortgage company immediately to discuss options. The 2 mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are rolling out relief measures to help millions of homeowners defer or rework their loan payments. Even institutions like Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo are all coming out with their own offerings. And while landlords are less regulated than mortgage lenders, they also might be able to extend you more time or even be a little more flexible on terms. But again, you need to ask.
Your next round of calls should be to your utility companies and insurance providers. Many are offering to give their customers leeway to skip or delay payments. As you work your way down your list of bills, you'll finally get to your minimum loan payments. Thankfully, all federal student loan payments have been suspended by the recent stimulus bill until September 30th. And even private lenders are offering forbearance programs. You should also reach out to your credit card companies and any other lenders on your list. They're all joining the less people can pay us party.
The one thing that most of these forms of relief have in common is that benefits are not automatic. You have to reach out and ask them for help. proactivity is the name of the game. And even if they don't let you skip a payment, they might have the power to not let it affect your credit score. That alone would be worth the call.
And if you already have cash set aside or are expecting some in the form of, say, a stimulus check from Uncle Sam, you should keep that on hand to cover your expenses your income can't. While it might be tempting to pay off debt or even invest with a recent stock market drop, cash is king in a crisis. Even if your income is only somewhat hit, its best use is to plump up that emergency fund a bit more, just in case Murphy's Law decides to show up.
And even with flexible payments and forbearance plans coming online, we see many folks considering extreme measures, like taking on 5 figures of credit card debt, yanking from retirement, or even ignoring bills entirely. Is there a time and a place to take these drastic steps?
Maybe, but they should be an absolute last resort. We definitely don't recommend taking out credit cards or loans if you have cash you can access. That's exactly what it's for. You truly need to be living the scorched earth lifestyle in earnest before resorting to those tools. And if you're in survival mode and debt is not an option, prioritize paying for your basic food, utilities, and transportation you'd need to keep yourself employable. If you still have leftover funds, move on to your housing costs and minimum debt payments. The main reason putting your utilities before your housing costs makes sense is that the consequences set in more quickly than skipping a housing payment.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's an especially scary time, but it doesn't have to be an unmitigated disaster. Don't allow panic or shame to take complete control. You have the power to make a plan and reach out for help. And that's our 2 cents.
Thanks to our patrons for keeping 2 cents financially healthy. Click the link in the description to become a 2 cents patron.